and welcome back to a podcast in space and time. Today we are discussing Doctor Who Season 2, Episode 0, The Christmas Invasion. So, Holden,
Yeah,
are you excited?
I mean, I'm always excited, but what in particular this time?
He's coming. Are you ready?
Who's coming?
The big man.
The Doctor?
No, the big man in red. Big beard,
Baymax?
brings us presents
Baymax.
on that one special night a year.
Oh, you're talking about Captain Jack Harkness when he always comes to my house one night a year and gives me something special.
No, I'm talking about Santa Claus. It's Christmas.
Oh, I got you now.
Christmas?
Okay. It's not Christmas, Kendall.
Yes, it is. We're watching a Christmas special.
Well, I don't know when this episode is actually premiering, but at the time we're recording this, it's June.
You know, it's not very Christmas spirity of you.
Shut up.
This is a war on Christmas, and I won't stand for it.
Oh, come on. It's not even Christmas in July yet. Yeah, well, we also watched the Children in Need special. I don't know if you wrote anything down for that.
No, I kind of, well, it felt just kind of like a lead into the episode, so.
Mm-hmm. And well, first off, we're actually together again.
We are.
We haven't seen each other since early March.
Yeah, we have been in quarantine.
Yeah, so, and also Kendall's voice sounds a little extra crispier, but it's also still a little far away because I've only got one microphone right now, and I just had major car repairs, so I haven't been able to order a new mic for him to use separately. So right now we're sharing one.
One day we will both sound good.
Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Let's see. So, how do you feel about this episode?
It was good. I've got mixed feelings about it, and really I can't get into those mixed feelings until I get to the spoiler section. But I mean, it's got, my biggest problem with it is that David Tennant's barely in it. That he's asleep for the majority of it.
Yeah, I kind of commented like during the episode, man, David's got the easy acting job this time.
It's true.
He just kind of gets to lay around and like occasionally open his mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember doing that for one show. Like I had to be asleep multiple times for that show, and it was a breeze. It was a breeze. Also, we got a slightly new opening sequence.
Yeah, so what was new about this one? Because I didn't really notice.
Slightly altered. I think like the spinning, like where the TARDIS just stops and the camera kind of turns and then it just starts back.
Okay, yeah.
That part wasn't in Eccleston's era.
Yeah, so some slightly updated effects, I guess.
Right, I mean, I understand why they didn't completely change it because, I mean, you just had one season of it, and I understand why they didn't change it too much.
Also,
money.
Budget, yeah.
Yeah, the budget. And also, about the Children in Need special, did it really warrant the entire intro for that?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they had like the whole intro and also like a last time sequence. It was
well, no, I can understand the last time sequence because the Parting of the Ways aired in like June, and the Children in Need special aired in like November.
Yeah, I guess it was necessary. It just felt weird to have that and then the intro and then like kind of a just 2 or 3 minute scene, and that was like the whole special.
Right. I do think it was mainly odd just because of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it might have felt just like more natural for it to just be the first scene of the episode, but I also can kind of understand why they did it the way they did it.
Yeah. It's understandable. Mickey always comes running.
Mickey, come on, dude. Like, let Rose go.
Mm-hmm.
We know this is going nowhere.
Right, like usually we have a lot to say on Rose's part in this relationship, but in this episode, I feel a little bit more on Mickey's side of like, dude, just let her go.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely like blame Rose, but I also think Mickey like at this point kind of needs to come to an
Mm-hmm.
understanding of their relationship and just like let her go and move on.
Although, as someone who has gone through something similar, I do understand Mickey's perspective and why he does it. Because, like, at the time, not anymore, but at a certain time, if someone was just like, if that person had told me, okay, we can be together now, I'd be like, okay, great. Like, I would have dropped everything. I'm not at that point anymore, but there was a time I would have been.
Yeah. Um, let's see. So we had killer Santas and a killer Christmas tree,
uh,
which
Death by Christmas. Doctor Who in a nutshell.
I enjoyed that like the villainy of this episode was so very Christmassy.
Mm-hmm.
Like in other Christmas specials, you kind of have like Christmas as kind of a backdrop and
Mm-hmm.
there might be like some kind of Christmassy elements, but
Mm-hmm.
I think this might be the only time we see sort of Christmas like decorations as kind of the thing that's trying to kill you.
No, I can think of a couple more, but I don't want to get into that because this is the non-spoiler section.
Okay, we'll discuss that later.
Mm-hmm. Also, new TARDIS effects. Like we actually see the TARDIS flying around in open space. We don't actually. We don't just see it fading in and out.
Yeah, we got a nice shot of like the TARDIS kind of like crashing against the buildings and
Mm-hmm.
landing, which I thought was a neat shot.
Mm-hmm. And also, what do you mean that's the Doctor? Doctor Who?
That's the title of the show.
And they will never stop using it.
No.
Harriet Jones, Prime Minister.
Yes, we know who you are.
I love that joke.
It got a little old after a while, which I think they maybe said it like 3 or 4 times, but
Mm-hmm.
after like the last time, I was like, okay, we get it.
But it was the Sycorax that said it.
Yeah.
So this is the first David Tennant episode I've seen. Like I've discussed before, I was introduced with Series 5 with Matt Smith as the Doctor. So this is the first David Tennant episode I saw. Because I went back and just started watching here. Like I didn't start with Eccleston. I had tried to watch Rose, but I was at that time where if something was too gimmicky and too weird or too old, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I mean it's
It,
definitely
it was
cheesy.
it was a phase. It was very it was it, everyone understands. Everyone understands.
You kind of like have sort of that, and I definitely had this as a teenager. You have this phase you go through
Mm.
where you kind of reject anything that you consider like cringy.
Yeah, exactly.
And there definitely was a time where I would have considered like the first season of Doctor Who to have a lot of cringy stuff in it.
Exactly.
But now I'm like, kind of over that. I don't
Mhm.
really care anymore.
And I'm still like that with a few things. Like the Adam West Batman series, I still can't stand it. Like I used to love it just because that was when I was a lot younger and it was a little more kiddie and everything, and I was a more kid. But now I just rewatch it. I'm like, I can't stand this.
It is very campy, and it doesn't tend to have a whole lot of substance to it. I feel
Mm.
like,
And like that's what I really need in my Batman stories. That's what makes Batman Batman for me. Is a lot of substance and depth and everything.
yeah, like without being too
Zack Snyder
Zack Snyder,
and not to Adam West.
somewhere like in between. Like
Mm.
one Batman author, and he actually passed away this week.
Wait, what?
Denny O'Neil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
I hadn't heard of this.
yeah, he passed away a couple days ago.
Oh gosh, I almost got his autograph at a con last year.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think he was 81.
I might be thinking of someone else, but I
Um,
do recognize the name for sure.
yeah, he wrote during like the 70s and 80s, and he had some
I think it might be who I'm thinking about.
Yeah, he had some of my favorite Batman stories. They struck a really nice balance between kind of like
Mm-hmm.
a little bit darker side of Batman, but also just
Mm-hmm.
like very human and very compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like also fun moments
Mm-hmm.
mixed in. And
My favorite Batman stories are the stuff written by Frank Miller and Jeff Loeb. Like both their stories are really good, especially Jeff Loeb. I'm a big Jeff Loeb Batman fan. Batman Hush, The Long Halloween, Dark Victory, very good stories.
yeah, I like Frank Miller, but his kind of tend to get a little too much into this Snyder
Mm-hmm.
territory for me. Which
Right,
I understand he was a big inspiration on Snyder, but I like his stories, but I can
mm-hmm.
only take so much of them before I need a break.
Right. I think you would like Year One. I think you would like Year One. It's got some good elements and everything. It's really good.
Yeah, I have a long list of Batman stories I still
Yeah,
need
no,
to
and
check
you
out.
even gave that to me for my birthday,
I
and you didn't
did.
even read it before you gave it to
I
me.
read like half of it.
Oh, really? Yeah, usually you read the graphic novels before you give them to me.
I mean, that's like half the reason I buy them for you, so I can read them too.
I mean, hey, you know I'm going to like it. You know I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but no, you have read Hush, but I do recommend once you get to a place where you're open to reading some new things, because I know you've got a long list of stuff.
I have a very
I
long
do
list.
recommend The Long Halloween and Dark Victory. It's a continuation, and like I know you love Calendar Man,
I do love Calendar Man.
and he's in them.
So thanks for listening to our Batman
Yeah,
podcast.
thanks. Okay. Small note. Sycorax. They actually got that from a William Shakespeare play. That
Huh.
was the name of the witch in The Tempest. Was
Okay.
Sycorax.
Yeah.
That's where they got that name from. Was Shakespeare. A Shakespeare play.
So
Just a small note. That's my theater nerd in me.
nerd.
We're talking about Batman and Doctor Who, and you're calling me a nerd.
Um. Okay. So one question I had about this episode: why was this regeneration different? Was it because the Doctor absorbed the TARDIS
It's
energy?
never explained.
I assume that's why it was, but yeah, he definitely had like much different recovery in from this regeneration than we like see in any other regenerations.
It is very different, and I think that's why I struggle liking this episode a bit, just because of that. Because the Doctor is not in it much, and he's just sleeping.
Yeah, I think there's definitely like an interesting tension that brings to the table.
Mm,
Like kind of Rose and the human
mm,
characters like kind of having to fend for themselves while the Doctor is like
asleep.
sleeping it off.
I feel like it would have been better later on in the show. Like I don't think it would have. I don't think it worked really good for the first regeneration. I would have waited a couple regenerations down the line and then do an episode like that.
Yeah, I
That way you
can.
have more of a feel of the show and know what's going on and know that companions can take care of themselves. Because Rose, the only time Rose has really taken care of herself and so far is just doing the whole bad wolf thing,
Yeah,
and that was pretty dangerous.
yeah, I can agree with that. I could see this working a lot better maybe later down the line.
Mhm. Uh, Also, why did the broadcast announcer say the the British intelligence say off the record, blah 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 blah? Well, if it's off the record, why are you announcing it on TV? Do you not understand the point of off the record?
I don't think he knows what off the record means.
Right? You have to say off the record to. I'm not even going to explain what off the record is because you
Also,
should know.
why did they send a blood sample to the aliens?
Well, they didn't know it was going to aliens.
Did they think they were like making a blood sacrifice to our greater beings beyond?
And also, who volunteered for it? Because we know it wasn't Daniel because it wasn't his blood type because he didn't start walking off. It's like, all right, who wants to volunteer for the blood sacrifice? Anyone? Sally, how about you?
Sally, why don't you do it?
Okay, I don't see any problem with this. We'll never run into anything about this ever again.
This is not weird at all.
No. Also, Harriet Jones saying, "Today is a day of peace on the planet Earth, and we extend that to you. But if you try to invade us, we will kill you." I'm like, that's not how that works.
I mean, it also kind of just describes humans in general, though.
Yeah, but she says earlier, "Look, I'm not going to let the President of the United States make a war out of this." And then she goes and does that.
No, that's true. That's a fair point.
Also, Rose and Mickey. I wrote down just Rose and Mickey. Ugh.
Just Rose. I think we've talked enough about Rose and Mickey, so like, maybe we can like
Move on.
move on.
Mm-hmm. How did people get on top of the Roman Colosseum?
That was there were like definitely people standing in places I feel like people shouldn't have been able to get to, but
Like, unless there were ladders there, but why would there have been ladders at specific points right there?
also like weren't there like security or something to keep people from climbing up on the side of this ancient monument?
I don't know.
I feel like that's not just a thing you can do. I don't think I could just walk up to Rome and I was about to say Rose. Walk up to Rome and climb their big fancy monument.
Oh, so you want to climb up Rose and walk up her big fancy monument?
No comment.
Okay. Now, was it just me, or did Billie Piper's acting feel a little stale in this episode? She had some good moments, but there were some other moments where she just showed no emotion. Like when the whole ship appeared in the sky, she just looked at it blankly, in a blank stare.
Yeah, there were definitely moments. There were moments where I thought she was very good, and other moments where it did feel like she wasn't quite like up to her usual par. Because usually she's very good, and she's like good at kind of, I guess, acting in front of a green screen, which is probably what they were like having to do a lot of times.
Yeah,
usually
it's a sci-fi show.
Yeah, usually she's very good at it, and I don't know. She maybe was just having an off day.
It is very possible.
We all have those days.
We do. Also, nice touch with Big Ben. Like, there was some construction going around it. That was a nice touch, showing that they were still fixing it after the whole Aliens of London ordeal with the Slovene.
I had to laugh when they had like a shot of Big Ben and then immediately after a shot of the London Eye.
No, there was a shot of both of them at the same time.
Gotta get all the big monuments in there.
And then there's the other building. I can't remember what it's called.
Buckingham Palace?
No, the sphere thing that goes up the.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it's called.
We don't live there.
The big like lipstick.
The big
tube
Easter egg
thing.
The big Easter egg looking place. Also, again, Mickey, stop, Rose, stop flirting with Mickey. Sorry.
Also just like, I really did. I think probably my favorite part was just from the Doctor emerging from the TARDIS.
Yes.
The whole like part about the great big threatening button.
And just the way he says button.
His whole like, everything there is very good.
And I looked. We were at the 40-minute mark when that happened.
Yeah, like the episode really, it took a while for it to pick up.
Mm-hmm. I understand they wanted to do a Christmas special, an hour-long Christmas special, but I really think it could have been shortened. This one.
I think it could have been trimmed down and worked just fine.
Mm-hmm. Like other episodes, it works perfectly, but this one in particular, it should have been cut a little bit.
I also appreciated the Lion King reference.
Oh, I know you do. Lion King. What? Lion King's like your favorite movie, isn't it?
It's definitely like one of my favorites. I don't know if I would call it my absolute favorite anymore, but it's definitely like really high up there.
There was a time though, it would have been your absolute favorite.
I can basically quote it word for word.
He can't. You know what? Maybe we'll do that one day. I'll just bring him, come over to your house, put a microphone in front of you, and just have you recite the whole thing. He'll even do the music as well.
Would you like to hear a bonus episode of me reciting The Lion King word for word? Let us know.
Listen, if we ever get a Patreon, we're gonna do that.
$100 patrons get that get exclusive access to that episode.
Yeah. So if you guys support us, subscribe a lot. So
subscribe to our Patreon that we don't have.
Well, I mean, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way, it can a lot, so we can initiate a Patreon
for all the Lion King content you crave.
Okay. Also, I wish David was allowed to use his Scottish accent.
For real, there were so many moments where I was thinking, like, oh, wow, this would be better if he was just able to go full Scott.
Mm-hmm.
It would be so good.
And like moments of it come out usually when he goes, oh.
Yeah, he has like definite Scottish moments in there. There were like little moments where I was like, huh, that sounds a lot like Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah. Exactly. No second chances. I'm that sort of a man. Oof.
Yeah, I kind of got chills in that part.
Mm-hmm. Like that really shows what his doctor is. He can go from 1 minute of, oh, jolly good. No. You know?
Yeah.
Also, sorry, what?
Also, we got like the Death Star beam.
Yep, I was about to say that. Harriet Jones is like, it's from an alien craft that crash landed here about 10 years ago. The Death Star crash landed? That's where it went? It wasn't Endor, it was Earth.
Wait, but this conflicts with stuff that happened in The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh gosh, shut up.
Fix the canon.
We're not talking about The Rise of Skywalker, Kendall. As though it has many problems, we're not talking about it.
If you'd like to hear us talk about The Rise of Skywalker in a bonus episode,
subscribe to our non-existent Patreon.
I struggle with what Harriet Jones did because in a way I kind of don't blame her.
It's same. It's like she has good intentions for the human race, but at the same time they were leaving in peace.
Yeah, but I guess like in the back of my mind too was like, I mean, these are space slavers. Like they were gonna go enslave more like worlds. So, I mean, are we really gonna just let them go do that?
It's true, but I mean that's just the dilemma with the world today anyway. You've got a point. You've got a point.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough because like on one hand I am like,
oh, on one hand.
Yeah, on one hand I'm like all for, kind of like peaceful resolutions to things, but on the other hand I'm like, but are we really gonna let them just go and do more evil?
Right. It's like the Doctor letting the Daleks go in a way.
Right.
First time seeing a new room on the TARDIS in the revived era.
Yeah, I loved seeing I guess like the Doctor's wardrobe. I thought that was neat.
Yeah. And I also caught a glimpse of Tom Baker's scarf off to the side hanging up.
I'm sure there were probably like
a lot of others.
There were probably a lot of others if I actually like sat down and really looked closely. But yeah, I'm sure like really eagle-eyed viewers will have caught a bunch of Easter eggs there.
Well, you got to remember, Tom Baker's scarf is very iconic.
It's kind of hard to miss.
Right. Again, let her go, Mickey.
Yeah, I kind of made like a similar note several times.
Well, that's all I have for the non-spoiler section. What about you?
That's all I've got.
Spoiler warning. Are you going to make the joke?
I'm not going to make the joke.
Okay, I'm not going to either.
One thing I was thinking when the Doctor was like basically saying this planet is defended and all that.
It is defended.
Yeah, like I got
my attempt at a David Tennant voice.
I got major like what was that? 11th Hour? Is that the first episode of season 5?
Oh, when he's talking to the eyeball thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the 11th Hour.
Yeah, there's a very similar moment there. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think
No.
It's, I mean, that's really what the Doctor is all about. And like, it's the Doctor is about defending not just the Earth, but the Doctor defends the Earth a lot.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a nice like kind of it wasn't like the exact same scene, but it was a nice like similarity there.
Right. We got another mention of Torchwood.
We got several mentions of Torchwood.
That's leading up to the series finale and everything. Did Russel T Davies have plans for the hand?
I have no idea. In the moment, it definitely seems like just a thing that happens, but it also is odd that
because it comes back in the Torchwood show because Jack has it, and then it comes back in series 3 of Doctor Who because Jack has it and he's tracking the Doctor with it, and then the Master uses it to use the Doctor's DNA to be able to use his laser screwdriver to age him.
Yeah.
And then it comes back in series 4 for the Meta Crisis.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. It's strange that the Doctor would have that kind of injury. Like it's unusual and
although we do see the same thing happen later when River Song regenerates. Like from Mel to River Song in Let's Kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Like, because she gets shot by Nazis, but then she just regenerates that because she's still in the 15 hours of her regeneration cycle, so it heals herself.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like in general though, it's odd that like the Doctor would lose a hand. It's kind of a strange injury for that show.
It is. I think this is my least favorite episode of a brand new Doctor, like from just being regenerated. Like we've got the Christmas Invasion, we got the 11th Hour, we've got Deep Breath, and now we've got The Woman Who Fell to Earth. I think this is my least favorite of the 4.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, like, other than 11th Hour, all the others are kind of rocky in my opinion. Like it's hard to, and I understand it's hard to like introduce a new Doctor, but there's always some kind of like rocky start. I feel like for those first episodes. And even like I really like the 11th Hour, but even it had kind of its rocky moments.
Right.
I don't know. I would have to go back and watch them all before I made that decision. But probably.
Well, I watch this show regularly, so
I watch the show like sporadically.
But yeah, do you have any other notes?
That's all I've got.
Wow, this is a 28-minute episode. Yeah.
For a long episode.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us on A Podcast in Space and Time, Series 1, Episode 0, The Christmas Invasion. Join us next week as we discuss Series 1. I'm so used to saying Series 1.
Series 2.
Series 2, Episode 1, New Earth. Get Cassandra.
Yeah, Cassandra.
Moisturize me.